Today is National Cancer Survivors Day, a day to honor those who have found the strength and support to beat the odds and come through an oftentimes difficult and traumatic battle. Lindsay Matthews has stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, and she joins us now to talk more about this important day. Lindsay, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Since your diagnosis, you've been using your voice and the platform to bring awareness to the cause and motivate cancer patients. What does this day mean for you?
Well, National Cancer Survivors Day was important because a few years ago, I was considered a cancer survivor. I had beaten the odds, gotten through early stage breast cancer. And, at that time, I was just trying to figure out how to acclimate back to a regular life. Unfortunately, I was one of the unlucky ones whose disease had progressed. So now that I'm living with the incurable form, I consider myself a cancer survivor because I'm currently surviving with cancer. And the definition is anyone who has been impacted with cancer at any point in their lifetime. And it's not just about awareness, but it's also a call to action to help increase the care for those who are living with it.
What were your thoughts when you were first told you had cancer the first time?
That was a pretty crazy day. When a nurse looks at you and says, "I'm sorry, it's cancer," the emotions bubble up inside of you. It's disbelief. I had a nervous giggle and then of course some tears because you just know from that moment on, your life is no longer what you thought it would be.
And how are you doing now? You said you're living with cancer, but how are you doing now?
I'm really happy to report that I'm currently stable because the treatment line that I am currently on is working really well for me. And the reason why raising awareness and educating people around this cause is because there's so many questions that are unanswered. I am one of the lucky ones. This treatment line is working, but how long will it work for? Why does it work for someone like me, but not some of my friends? There's just so much that needs to be done.
And how important is it for you to be your own advocate when it comes to this and learn about everything that you're facing?
I think that the number one piece of advice I give to anyone who's been diagnosed with any kind of cancer is you really need to get educated on everything about it, how it works, how treatment options work, because hospital and cancer care is really excellent and it's improving, but you need to be in charge of everything that you are doing because no one keeps track like you do, and you got to fight for yourself sometimes.
And it's not just you, though. You have family around you. How do you help them through it? Because it must be difficult for them as well.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. How do you raise young children when you're going through something like this? And how do you help support all of the family members around you? Because it really is a family experience. And I believe that you need to be as honest as possible, and you really need to lead by example. So my children are watching me battle this every single day. And I want them to see me continuing to live life to its fullest. So I swear, we have more fun than we've ever had. But all of a sudden, what matters is really noticeable. And you just focus on that and help them through.
Now, will they be joining you? You're doing the Princess Margaret Walk to Conquer Cancer. Will they be joining you? And tell us a little bit about that before we go. We're almost out of time.
Sure, yeah. Well, I'm really excited I really wanted to get behind something bigger than me this year. And I chose the Walk to Conquer Cancer with the Princess Margaret because, they are the leading hospital when it comes to cancer research and clinical trials. And since it started, they've raised over $190 million. The best part is you get to choose which cancer your fundraising efforts go towards. Me and my family, we'll all be raising money for breast cancer, but my kids watching me do something like that, they're a little young to participate, but watching me do something, it's the legacy I want to leave, which is when really hard things happen, it's how can we squeeze as much good out of it as we can?
Lindsay, thank you very much for sharing your story with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Lindsay Matthews is living with stage 4 breast cancer.